I still cannot seem to understand what is the difference between a content management system and a collections management system. What are the concrete actions that can be made with both types of systems, and what information do they hold about the collections? So first of all, at least in 2021, I'm pretty sure they're the same thing, and are used interchangeably, at least currently and in the States. I did bring a screenshot over here on the right-hand side from the International Council on Archives. And I think this might also be a language thing. So for example, catalog, Americans spell it the simple way. So Catalog, catalog. Yep, I can spell. Whereas in Britain, at least, and maybe the rest of the Commonwealth, they add the UE at the end. So I think this may be a different verbiage type thing depending on where you are. And all of the collections management systems that they list in their content management system section all refer to themselves as collection management systems. So I think this helps lend some credence to they are the same thing. But I do want to get into some differences about systems that we are using in our field in general, especially since our field is cross-disciplinary. So there's the idea of a knowledge management system versus a content management system. And knowledge management in this case, and there are databases for it, is really intellectual property, ideas, institutional knowledge, um, that type of thing, usually in more of a corporate or research setting. Whereas content is actual like marketing collateral, for example, or book narrative manuscript type content. That is things that were written to convey ideas, branding, etc. That's content, which you could find in marketing departments, and they may have systems called content management systems to help them manage all of that collateral. And then getting to content versus collections, which we went over at the beginning of this slide. For our purposes in the library, archives, and museum field, they're the same. And more commonly, we do tend to, at least in the States, say collections management systems. And they are to manage historical artifacts, essentially, or if you're in libraries, books. But for archives and museums, you've got the historical artifacts, whether it's object or paper, photo, audiovisual material, etc. So historical materials, and then the data that goes with those materials to describe and sort and manage those materials. And then we have collections versus digital assets. And this is one that is particularly interesting to me right now because we are starting to see this merger of collections management systems with digital asset management systems. So CMS versus DAMs. And I'm starting to see this bleeding over of collections management systems starting to offer functionality like a DAMS. For example, thinking about digital file preservation management, external, internal file sharing, that type of thing. And similar with the DAMs, where I'm starting to see them offer collections management system functionality in terms of the curating content, creating digital galleries, that type of thing. So I think we may see a time in the next 5, maybe 10 years where collections management systems and digital asset management systems may very well be the same thing, just as now collection management systems and content management systems are the same thing.